Hey there, Steve Wagner. I want to talk about the money you could possibly make by really embracing and leaning forward and putting forth the effort to succeed in this ambassador program. The numbers are huge. They're exciting because it becomes passive residual income that can last way into possibly into your retirement. And anyways, it's just a good thing. I've seen it really benefit a lot of agents. Let's just dive right into the numbers and how you work this. This is all this is about, is how you work this pro forma, or it's really a goal. It could be a projection. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's supposed to give you an idea of how much money you can make and a plan for making it. And so the first thing you want to do is understand that this is designed to be a 5 year. So we're gonna, but you'll be able to see how it grows each year after year, and then it just stops at 5 years. Now you could just continue growing. This thing will go really crazy if you looked at it as a 10-year plan. We're just looking as a 5-year plan. First thing you got to do is put in the average price point that you and the people that you would be responsible for bringing in, and that sphere of influence that ultimately comes in because of you. It's really your tree. And I would focus in, a lot of these companies say, oh, you can recruit in California. Let me just be honest with you. 95% of all your recruits are going to come very close to where you live and do work. So think of the price point there, and that's got to be your number. I put in 425. Probably when you get it, it'll probably have 425 in there. You might adjust it up. I know my son lives in Santa Rosa, and the average price point is $1 million, and he would probably put 1.5 in there as the average. And then you got to put in the average commission percent. I want to be very clear on this. This is a negotiated thing. There's no given going rate. This is a number that I would feel comfortable with, though I know agents that would go lower and I know agents that will go higher. One of my companies that I'm a partner in, the average is about 4.25%. And, I can get into why that is and so forth. But so we're just trying to build out a pro forma. If you're comfortable with these numbers, then that's what you put in. And then you'll have the average commission amount, which is $11,688 under those terms. Now, when that commission comes in, it's a 90-10 split that we have at VPR United in Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and the states around Georgia. And so it's a 90-10 split. We take 6% of the 10% and run it down a three-tier program. That common level 1, level 2, level 3. We'll get more into that in a second. With the company only keeps 4%. Okay. I do want you to try to estimate the average sales per agent. I know this is a guesstimate. I think 5 is a good number. Some might go slightly lower. Some might go much higher because you're only going after real producing agents. So this is another for figuring out a goal or a plan or a projection. These are all important numbers. And obviously, if they're off, that's going to affect this. But all right, then let's try to figure out what is a reasonable number. And you're going to put this number. What do you think the reasonable number is that you could possibly, I say recruit, it's really who you're responsible for signing up, and they ultimately end up joining the company. Because if you register someone and they end up coming to the company, they're signed to you for as long as you're with the company and they're with the company, you're getting passive residual income. So what number do you feel comfortable? I'll tell you, I've got our recruit over at VPR, really great lady by the name of Stephanie. She's averaged 46 a month and has actually gone like over 70 recruits in 1 month before. Yeah, it sounds remarkable. I'm not talking about anything like that. That's what she does for a living. But what could you do? A year. This is not a month. This is per year. I think a good starting number what you should think of is 3. Yeah, you might go lower, but more people that really dial in go higher. This is a very conservative number. It's a safe number. So I recommend, I'm going to probably have it already preloaded as 3. Now, some I actually loaded as 4 because I really think that's the better number. But I want to be very conservative. So let's just say for 5 years in a row, you add and you maintain a net. So this is key. This is a net maintenance. So if you lose one, you got to replace them. But you figure this out, and at the end of 5 years, you have 15 on there. And then you got to factor in, okay, those people you brought in, which are your level 1s, what is the average rate that they're going to bring in? So I usually go a little bit lower than what you do because They're not as motivated as you. Now they might be. You may get some super recruiter and they just blow up your downline. But for this, we just got to be conservative. So I'm gonna put 2 all the way down for 5 years in a row. That's not just one. That's the whole group that you bring in. That's the average amount that they bring in. That's why we go with a little lower number on there. And then those people, okay, your level 2, when they bring them in, that actually becomes your level 3. But I'm only putting 1 on here. So I think you're going to be very shocked as far as the amount of income that actually comes in if you can cause all these things to happen. If they, and some of you can't cause it, but if it happens and due to your efforts, then the amount of money is pretty staggering. Now, I don't want you to get too caught up in this particular number because this is not going to be accurate 9 times out of 10, probably even more than 9 times out of 10. We have to take into consideration one important thing, that we have a cap. Now it's 5,900 per state. Now, right now, most of the people, we have a lot of people in multi-state right now, but it's 5,900 per state. So when the cap runs out, then the money flow runs out. So we have to put in a number that is going to adjust that. And that's a gee whiz type of thing. I usually about 25 cap impact. That means that is how much we're going to deduct from the whole pro forma, and we're going to leave 75% intact. Maybe you just want to go ultra conserve and you put, hey, I think I'm going to lose half of the potential income because of the cap and other factors, by the way. So say if a KW agent has said they've capped out over there, can they come in? And can you honor our cap for 3, 4, 5 months? Sometimes we do that. And so it looks like productivity. You're like, hey, where's my money? Well, we've honored their cap and things such as that. There's a few little things that can take this. I think if you do 50%, that's too conservative. But I still think you're going to like the numbers. So let's just say half of the money that could have come in, should have come in, but for whatever reason did not come in. And the cap is the number one culprit of that. Here are your numbers right here that you're going to be making. And so if you see how it grows there, I think it's a pretty exciting program. What do you think? Well, this is an opportunity for you. I'd love for you to really push yourself, follow the programs that we have, the advice. I promise you, if you at all follow our plans, our advice, and that's how you actually are able to register someone, I think you're just going to be ecstatic as far as the ongoing passive residual income. Well, I hope this excites you. Thank you very much.